Redeployment is a short story written by Klay. He is a graduate of Dartmouth College and got his Master of Fine Arts from Hunter College. He is in Iraq's Anbar province as a public affairs officer for the United States Marine Corps. Deployment was originally published in Granta. It was included in Fire and Forget, which is short stories from the Long War. He was a National Book Award for Fiction winner. Klay was a Frank O'Connor Prize shortlisted. He was a National Book Foundation 5 under 35 honoree. He also received the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation's James Webb's Award for fiction dealing with the United States Marines or Marine Corps life in 2015. He was a National Book Critics Circle John Leonard Award, Best Debut Work in Any Genre. And he received the American Library Association's W.Y. Boyd Literary Award for Excellence in Military Function. Klay also won the 2015 Warwick Prize for Writing. Deployment is a story about a soldier who is coming home after being overseas in the Iraq War. He shares experiences from the war as far as scanning through towns, raiding houses, and even goes into depth about how he killed people or killed animals. It then shifts to his converting back to civilian life. They show how they put them in a remote location in a desert so that they can decompress, as they call it, and try to get back to somewhat of a normal life. He then gets home, sees his wife that he has not seen since he left, only talked to or written letters to, and he has to remember what she's like on the way home, what she smells like, what she looks like, and just that overall connection that they had before they left. He gives experiences on different things that happen to him after he's home, what his military buddies' lives are like whenever they get home. He has the invisible identity of being a veteran, and now he's in a civilian life. The first time he sees his wife, it feels strange to him. Although she's extremely excited, he is still nervous and doesn't really know what to expect because it's not what he's had to live with for the last few months, 7 months, 8 months that he's been gone. He experiences that all these people are getting ready to hoard them, be around them, and they're not exactly ready to be exposed to that. As they get off the plane, they're sitting there, they're looking around, they see many people. He notices a buddy's dad that's there, but he can't find his wife right away. He mentioned on the plane ride back that it's weird because here they all are, even though they're showered and decompressed, as they put it, that it still doesn't feel like they are. They're still grimy from, being exposed to the different surroundings that they were exposed to. Even though they're sitting there with a rifle in between their legs on the plane, they still don't feel like they're quite at home. It doesn't feel right to them that they're not fighting a war right now. After he's home, he takes a shopping trip with his wife, and the difficulty in the shopping trip is that he is constantly looking around and trying to figure out what's all going on. He can see a dime on the ground 20 feet away because that's what he's trained to do now. He's trained to see different instances that can turn around at the snap of a hat and not be that safe environment anymore. He cannot enjoy the shopping trip as his wife is enjoying it. His wife is carefree, goes through different goes store to store, picking up items, shopping, having a good time. Whereas Klay, as a soldier, is constantly scanning the premises, looking back, knowing that he doesn't have his other guys behind him, watching his back and helping him out, making sure that he stays safe. He also shares in the story a friend who loses his wife. They get home, finds out that his wife has left him, his entire house is empty. After they get home, they are required to come back to base and take these classes, making sure that they're not going to have an emotional breakdown. And if they do have an emotional breakdown, it will stay concealed within them and not be seen to the public. They make them take these classes, hoping that that helps them get back to used to the life that they used to have. And a lot of people just don't realize that that's not possible for a soldier. The friend who loses his wife, his other guys in his unit, they take turns taking care of him, staying with him. They actually go out drinking with him a lot so that they can make sure that he stays safe. And for him, the best scenario is to have those people around him instead of his family because it's what they're used to now. They could have had his family come in and be with him, but it just wouldn't have been the same since these guys have lived together, have they woke up together, they ate together, they fought together, they went to bed together. They feel safe. It's their comfort zone now. And so they try to help them out as much as possible in that sense, that they want him to feel safe so that he doesn't have an emotional breakdown. He doesn't go out and, for example, kill himself after going through all the trauma that he has, coming home to not having his wife. That would be a huge shock for any person, let alone a soldier who's been gone for that long. As Klay illustrates in his writing, he feels that he is part of a dominant group because he is a white man. He doesn't get associated with terrorist attacks as we quite do today when we see certain people of a nationality or how they're dressed. He feels that he has that privilege, that he doesn't get looked upon as that. Whenever he goes shopping, he's looking for different threats of different genders and different nationalities and different races, but he says that he doesn't feel that happens to him. Whenever the soldiers return home, even nowadays, they are seen as heroes. They get stereotyped as the American hero. But a lot of people, especially the civilian life, fail to see how hard and what they went through to get to that point. They don't know that they go overseas and they end up, as Klay gives examples of, shooting animals that you just don't know if they're innocent or if they have bombs strapped to them or if they're going to try to kill you. It's hard to tell what is danger and what is not. There's not people walking around or animals walking around with signs on their neck that says, I'm going to kill you. And they definitely have to make that split decision before something bad happens to them. Redeployment gives a whole new perspective on what soldiers go through and what they experience whenever they come home, even. Because a lot of times when a soldier comes home, I know that me having friends that are in the military, you ask them, and if they don't want to talk about it, they simply don't share the story. But you also don't see the daily struggle that they go to in simple day-to-day activities that we don't think are hard activities, that they struggle with just because of what they're used to and what they've experienced. They're always thinking in the back of their head of the worst. They're always planning for what would happen if. With this story, it really took a different turn at the end when he actually ends up putting his dog down after their shopping trip. I think that the shopping trip put a lot of stress on him and really made him think back to his time in Iraq, and he had to do something to control that anger and that stress and everything that's just come down on him, because everyone wants him to go back to his normal life, but he can't really do that just by waking up. It wasn't easy for him to convert into that war life, and it's not easy for him to convert back into civilian life. When he comes home, his dog has been in bad shape, and he knows that. But after the things that he's experienced and things he's been through and how many people and animals that he's killed, he believes that it's his duty to put his own dog down, because that he just owes that to him. But I also think that it's going to help him deal with the stress that he has recently encountered. Overall, redeployment was an eye-opener of what can happen once you come home from war and what many people do experience, but they don't ever talk about. And I think that everyone who takes their life, even smallest things, for granted, would look into it a little bit deeper with reading Redeployment and really try to, I guess, meet some soldiers halfway on what they experience sometimes when they go overseas.